Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Kosha Gandhi, and in today's video we will be seeing what are the various decision making statements and looping statements in Java. So let's get started. In my last video I had shown you how to create a project in Java, how to create packages, classes, interfaces in Java, and how do they interact with each other to create a complete program. If you haven't seen my video, I will share a link here in the top or in the description box for you to check out that video. In that video, we have seen a iShape interface which had a calculate area method. Along with that, we had created a circle class which was having a calculate area method, and we had created a shape test method which showed how these various classes and interfaces were interacting with each other and how they were calculating the area of circle. Today in this example also we will be continuing with the same shape project, and we will be showing how these various decision making statements and looping statements interact with each other. We will along with the circle class we will be seeing three more classes here: a rectangle class, a square class, and a triangle class, which are also implementing the iShape interface and the calculate area method, and based on the kind of shape they are calculating the area of that particular shape. So here we will be creating one more additional test class here. Let's name this particular class as shape area test. So we will be naming this as shape area test class, and this particular class is going to contain a main method, and we will be creating a finish. And in this particular example, let's get started with we will be asking the user to the user of this particular program to enter a username and password, and if the username and password is valid, then only we will allow him to access the whole program and the various operations that the program provides us. Okay, so we will begin with a statement, system.out.println statement. Okay, and in this we will be mentioning that to calculate area of any shape, please log in into the system. Okay, and here then we will be asking them for a username and password. So we'll say system.out.println again, and we'll say username. Now for taking inputs here in this particular class, I am going to use the scanner class. So what I'll do is I'll create a string variable here, string username, and I will say a scanner object. So for creating a scanner object, we need to say scanner maybe is equals to new scanner. Okay, now for using the scanner class, since as I told you in the last video also, anything which is in the java.lang package we don't need to import, but beyond that, if there is any class which is not a part of your project, you need to import it. So for importing the scanner class, we need to import java.util.scanner. Okay, and here for taking the input, we need to say system.in for taking the system input. Okay, then we can say scanner dot next line, and this will take the username as input and store it in the username variable. Going further, we will say system.out.println password. Okay, and we will be taking the password as input here. So we'll string password is equals to again scanner dot next line, and we will say a if statement here. If is again a decision making statement, so we will say if username dot equals, so we are comparing the username, if the username is SA user1, okay, shape area test user1, okay, and if the password that has come, let's keep it simple and we will just compare the password be password. Okay. this is there, in that case we will allow him to access the system. If not, we will say output statement or a sysout statement that says invalid credentials. Okay. Then if the username and password, as I said, are correct or they are matching, in that case we will give him various options, okay, to select a particular shape. So we will be using a do while loop here for giving him the various options. So we will say do, and we will have a while statement here, okay, and we'll put the condition a bit later. Let's first get started with it. So outside of this particular do while loop, I'll be creating a integer variable that is option. Okay, so I'll say option. As of now, I'll not be setting it to anything. I'll say do while, and I will say a system.out.println statement again for taking the input. That is, I will say please select a shape. Okay, and I will give him the various options. So I'll say again a few sysouts, and I'll say 1 dot, okay, for circle. So 1 you have to enter for circle. Similarly, I'll say sysout, and I'll say 2 dot space, and I'll say this is going to be rectangle. So if you want to find the shape of or you want to find the area of a rectangle, you need to say 2. Then I'll say sysout again 3 for square. Okay, and finally we will say sysout 4 for triangle, and we will say one last thing, that is sysout 0 for exit. Okay, so these are going to be the various options that we will be giving to our user. Once he selects an option, so what we will say here, we will say option is equals to, now here I am using integer.parseInt to convert my string input into integer. So I'll say scanner dot next line, okay, and once we have taken the input in the option variable, we will be using the switch case here to give the logic of the various options that the user will be selecting. So we will say switch option here, and in that we will say case 1. Okay, so if the case is 1, that is if he is selecting circle, in that case we will again take an input from the user, that is we will say sysout, and we will say please enter radius, and we will then say radius variable. We will create a double type of variable radius, okay, and we will say double dot parse double. This is used to convert string into doubles, and I will say scanner dot next line, okay. This will store the radius. Once this is done, what I will be doing is I will be creating an object of the circle class. I will say circle C is equals to new circle, and in this circle object I will be setting my radius. Now before I could do that, I'll have to import the circle class. So I'll say import circle from learning.shapes. Then I can say c dot set radius, and I can set the radius variable into it. Once this is done, what I can do is I can call the calculate area method. So for calling the calculate area method, what we can do is we can create a double variable here, double area is equals to, we can say c dot calculate area. it will automatically take up radius and calculate the area. Okay. Now going ahead to display this particular area, we can say sysout, that is system.out.println, and we can say area of circle colon, and we can say plus area, the variable that we used. Then we can say break, and this will end this particular case. Similarly, what we can do is for other cases like case 2, which was rectangle, we can say system.out.println, and if you see here, a rectangle is expecting two things, a length and a width. So we will take two inputs here. We will first say please enter length, and we can take this as an input. So we can just use this particular line and rename the variable to length. Okay, and similarly we can say system.out.println, and we can say please enter width. Correct. If you can see here, we are taking length and width. So we are taking length and width as input here from the user and storing it in variables. Okay. So here I will be storing width. So once I get both these values, what I can do is we can call the method and store these values inside the method. So we can say rectangle, okay, r is equals to new rectangle. So this will create a rectangle object for me. Then I can say r dot set length as length variable, and r dot set width as width variable. Once this is done, similar to what we did earlier, we can say double area is equals to r dot calculate area, and we can say system.out.println again, and we can say area of rectangle colon, and we can say plus area. Okay, again this is giving error because it is in the same scope, so we can use the same variable area here. What we can do is, rather than declaring it here, we can declare it outside and we can reuse the variable. Okay, so we can say area equals to maybe 0 right now. Okay, so we can reuse that variable for all the cases. Once the area is found, we can say break. Similarly, we have to write for other two cases, case 3 and case 4. So case 3 is going to be square and case 4 is going to be triangle. So I'll say case 3 here, and I'll say case 4 here, and I'll say please enter. Now for square, if you see, again we will need only one thing, that is side. So we can remove the other portion and we can just take one. We can say please enter side, store this in a side variable, and change this object to a square object. Square s is equals to new square, and I can say s dot side, set side as side variable. Okay, and then I can say s dot calculate area, and I can say area of square is area and break. Similarly, for triangle, again I will need two things, a base and a height. So what I can say, please enter base. Okay, then store this in a base variable. Similarly, I can say please enter height, and I can store this in a height variable. And I can create an object of triangle here. I can say triangle t is equals to new triangle. Okay, and I can say, I can just remove this, and I can say t dot set base as base variable, and I can say t dot set height as height variable, and I can call t dot area here, and I can say area of triangle is the area mentioned. Similarly, For the last case, that is case 0, I can say case 0. What I just need to do here is set my option variable to -1. I can say option equals to -1 and break. Because this is what I'm going to use as a condition below in the do while loop. That is, this loop has to keep going till the time the option is not equal to -1. Okay. Once this is done, it will come out and we can say system.out.println and we can say thank you for performing various operations. Okay, so this is what I can say here, and this will end my code. So in this example, if you can see, we have used various things here. We have used input mechanism also, how to do that using scanner. Okay. Similarly, we have seen what are how to write an if and an else here. We have seen an example of switch case here. We've seen an example of do while here. So there are 3 things that we've covered here. In case if you want me to show a specific example for different for loops, you can mention that in the comment below, and I'll make a video here for the various different for loops that are available, like a normal for loop, an enhanced for loop, and a for each loop. So I'll create an example for that and I'll share it here. So if in case you want, please mention that in the comments below. So this is there. Now going further, if you see, these are the various options. Now let's just see if this program is working properly or not, and let's try to run. One thing that we still need to do is, once the whole code is done, okay, we need to close the scanner. So we need to say scanner dot close. So once this is done, let's try to run this particular code and see how it is working. So you can say run shape area test, and it will tell you that to calculate the area of any shape, please log into the system. So we need to put the username as SAuser1 and we need to put the password as password. Once this is done, it will ask you to select the shape. So let's say I'm saying a rectangle. It will ask me for a length. Let's say I'm entering 10 as my length and I'm entering 14 as my width. So it will calculate the area of rectangle as 140. Let's take one more example and let's put 4 this time, triangle. It will ask you for a base. Let's say I'm entering 12. It's asking me for a height. So let's say I'm giving 10 as the height. And it is saying area of triangle is 60, and that is again asking me to select a shape. This is happening because of the do while loop. Now if I want to exit out of this, I can say 0 and it will say thank you for performing various operations. This is an example wherein I have shown you various decision making and looping statements of Java. You want, as I said earlier, if you want me to show an example for different types of for loops, do mention that in the comment and I'll create an example for different for loops and show you here. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel for more such videos and like my videos so that I will be encouraged to create more such videos. Thank you.